The Niue High Court held a petition of inquiry proceeding with a decision to be delivered by next week. Te Papa Museum offers their expertise for the first phase of a Taonga Niue project for the Niue Cultural Heritage Centre and Museum. Niue Police build the professionalization of the police force by sending personnel for training opportunities abroad. A decision into the petition of inquiry into the conduct of the election of the member for Assembly for the village of Toi has yet to be released. The Niue High Court proceeding was held on Tuesday morning through teleconference. The general elections on the 12th of April returned with a tie for the village of Toi that resulted in additional measures carried out by the electoral officials on the 15th of April to determine the successful candidate that was deemed to be Dion Fitu. Since then, a petition has been lodged with the Niue High Court by the opposing candidate and 5 electors on Toi's electoral roll. Chief Justice Judge Patrick Savage presided over the case from chambers of the Maori Land Courts in New Zealand, whilst parties in Niue conducted their case at the Department of Justice. Government's lawyers have been given until Friday to put forward a submission from government. A ruling has not been reached as the judge takes time to consider arguments and deliver a decision, but the outcome from the petition of inquiry proceedings is most likely to be received by next week. Deliberations for the proposed Niue Cultural Heritage Museum and Centre is moving forward with assistance from Te Papa Museum. The team from Te Papa have been on the island to undertake an advisory role to Taonga Niue this week. The issue to build a new cultural heritage centre and museum has been on the table since the previous museum was destroyed by Cyclone Hata in 2004. This new approach will see a collaborative working relationship between Taonga Niue and Te Papa Museum.
Our part of the whole project is to think a bit more about what goes inside the Cultural Heritage Centre, and that's what we talked a little bit about at the steering group meeting today. And what we would like to do is put all those thoughts into a document, into a piece of paper, and make that available to the Niue, to Taonga Niue, and to the architect, and to everybody else who's interested, just to see whether that would be helpful. And that would be a two-way process. If there were other questions that the Niuean side would like to do, well, we'll see how we can do to help. So what we bring, I suppose, is the goodwill from Te Papa.
Taonga Niue says this is the first phase of the project that has taken a decade to get this far. In addition to the Te Papa team, it has also been beneficial to have the architect who will be working closely with all parties to incorporate all the ideas into the design of the centre or building on the island as well. The wealth of knowledge and expertise that Te Papa has will allow more in-depth thinking into how to incorporate the various cultural heritage aspects, not only into the design, but also the artefacts within the building.
A physical building is always important, but probably even as important is what goes into it. So it's people's feelings, it's people's history, it's how people see their future. It's also perhaps in Niue's terms, a place which will attract Niueans living overseas to come back. In other words, they feel it is their place as well. It's a place also to attract visitors to Niue and for visitors to understand more about your culture and to appreciate it. So I think the building is important, and some of those practical issues about how you conserve Taonga, how you encourage people to share their Taonga in a safe place for the Taonga and for the communities.
According to Taonga Niue Director Moira Enitama, there has also been some reluctance from people to donate artefacts, while there is no dedicated building that is equipped to create and preserve national treasures.
We have got some of that experience, some of those practical tips. For instance, my colleague Shane works in the conservation area. He's got 20-30 years of expertise. My colleague Sally works in outreach all over our North Island, where we have a lot of smaller museums. I think the combined expertise and the experience and our great interest to help and to assist and to support, if we bring all that together and work with the Niuean government and other stakeholders such as the New Zealand government, I think we can make it happen. So I think we are very enthusiastic and encouraged by the commitment that we heard and we saw from the people we spoke to this week.
My thoughts on Niue is, which everyone I think gets the impression, untouched, unspoilt, but the wealth of knowledge and culture that is intrinsic to being Niuean on the rock is palatable. There's so much potential here, and it's like Wen has said with the cultural centre, I mean, this will be the focal point, an iconic place for not only expat Niueans but also for other visitors. So it's been great.
One, to see that the culture is living, so to be part of the weaving groups that have been happening throughout the week, to see that when you go into the museum that's up there already, that weaving is happening inside of the building, that is an active and living culture. So it'll be wonderful as this project moves forward to have a facility that can facilitate more of that traditional activity to continue.
The team will depart the island tomorrow and have 1 month to provide a report with recommendations to government. The next phase of the project will be the decision where the Heritage Centre will be located and working with the architect to identify an appropriate design for the cultural centre. Niue's police force are benefiting from continuing support for professional development within the force. Chief of Police Tony Edwards says this is an outcome from discussions during the Chief of Police conference that was held in the Cook Islands last year, where concerns were raised for a need to provide more regional training and expertise development. The Pacific Partnership in Policing program has managed to address some of these issues and has also been a success.
We ran the first 2-week course down in Wellington at the Royal New Zealand Police College, and 2 of the officers attended that and successfully completed it. This year we've got 2 going to Vanuatu doing the same course, because this course is going to be done in each of the respective Pacific countries. So Vanuatu's turn this year, so 2 officers will go out there. We had Constable Funaki come from Samoa, who was seconded for 2 months under the Pacific Transnational Crime Unit, working in Samoa, and he thoroughly enjoyed his time there, and I gathered that some of the things that he learnt about intelligence and how we can collate information with issues that's happening around the Pacific. So Christian is well versed with some of the things that we need to do so that we could network with other Pacific policing countries and to get better results. So we've also got another training going on, and that will be happening in Australia, in Canberra in June, and we'll be sending out our police officer down there, which they will learn about control and command and coordinating, specifically for leadership and management. So I'm quite happy with the outcome of our conference last year, and we can see the benefits of police officers getting out to get trained.
Officers who attend trainings are expected to return and share their newfound knowledge with colleagues through in-country training. One of the more recent developments within the Niue Police Force has been a focus to boost physical fitness for their officers.
We've also got a boot camp running for fitness for police officers. We do that once a week, and that's all about team building, team bonding, ensuring that fitness is also part of it, and it's only for their benefit. So it's better for them to be fitter than rather than them just sitting in the office. So we've had quite a few things that we're trying to put in place, and I think it's going down really well.
Chief Edwards says that their service is to the community and that the professionalisation of the force will help build public confidence and create a sense of security. He admits they have a long way to go, but they can only continue to build on these best practices. And those are our news stories for this news bulletin and for this week. Don't forget to check out the Makefu annual show day that will be held this coming Saturday, and we'd also like to wish all the mothers on the island Happy Mother's Day this weekend, and the Aho Te Whānau programs that will be held around the island.